Hi there, my name's Sean, and I want to talk about Rocko's modern life. Today, we're looking at Dirty Dog, the segment that introduced us to some of O-Town's most beloved parasitic side characters, Bloaty and Squirmy.
Best buddies together all the way.
We open in space. The Earth slowly rotates as dramatic music swells, then reveals a face, sprouts an arm, and then starts scratching itself like it has a rash on a continental scale. It's a cold open that immediately tells you what kind of episode this is going to be. We zoom down in O-Town, into Rocko's house, and into his living room. Rocko snacks on nothing wafers while he and Spunky stare at the TV in that calm, brain-off kind of silence. A commercial interrupts.
Does your dog lick your face after rolling in its own unspeakable filth?
The announcer warns viewers about dogs rolling in filth, licking their owners, and quietly becoming toxic waste dumps of vermin infestation in just months. Rocko freezes. He turns and looks at Spunky like he's smelling him for the very first time. He pictures petting Spunky, only for his hand to come away coated in moldy, crawling grime. The commercial lands its pitch. Buy Scum Away doggy spray because
even the nicest doggies can have the nastiest parasites.
Cut back to the living room and Rocko already has a can of Scum Away in his hands like he panic ordered it with his mind. He stares at Spunky, now fully convinced that his dog is a mobile ecosystem of nightmare fuel. Rocko mutters under his breath about what kind of parasites could possibly be living on Spunky when the episode finally reveals its shift in perspective.
The air in this neighborhood stinks!
The camera zooms in on Spunky. Past the fur, past the skin, and past the normal rules of the show. We enter a fully realized microscopic world, and it's not just a few bugs crawling around. It's a whole sitcom.
I'm bushed. All I want to do is sit down and relax in my favorite arm scab.
This is the home of Bloaty and Squirmy, a bloodstick and a ringworm respectively. Our first new character, Bloaty, comes home after a long day of work to complain about the air in the neighborhood before plopping down in his favorite arm scab like it's a recliner and cracking open a plasma cola. Squirmy pops up unannounced, cheerful as ever. Bloaty snaps at him for never knocking and a laugh track applauds.
Disgusting! Slimy! Scummy!
Hello!
Don't you ever knock!
Cue the theme song. Big, catchy, completely committed.
What a crazy pair!
The kind of overconfidence that tells you that this show is going to sit in this format and not blink. The show isn't doing a quick parody.
Blood-sucking best buddies and you'll find
It's doing the whole thing.
are two of a kind.
When we come back, the sitcom premise locks into place. Bloaty's boss is coming over for dinner, and Bloaty wants to impress him so that he can get promoted. Squirmy insists that he can cook a roast louse so good, it'll seal the deal.
Squirmy, you're the best! Even though you do excrete mucus.
Get out of here.
Cut back to the living room, Spunky follows a trail of nothing wafers up the stairs. It's that classic bait trail bit, except instead of leading to something magical, it leads straight into the bathroom. Rocko's waiting inside with dog shampoo, a scrub brush, and the kind of resolve you only get from watching too much daytime television. Back in the microscopic world, Bloaty and Squirmy drink pitchers of dog sweat while the roast louse cooks.
To you, Squirmy, a master chef! Cheers!
Smoke starts creeping into the room, and yeah, you guessed it, the roast is burnt. Bloaty explodes. He grabs Squirmy and spins him around his waist like a hula hoop, berating him for leaving the roast unattended. Squirmy begs for a chance to fix it, and then the doorbell rings.
Oh no! My boss, Mr. Rick! He's here!
Mr. Ick enters with the same intimidating presence and hair-trigger temper as Rocko's own boss, right down to the familiar "you're fired" energy.
You're fired! Hello!
Drinks are served by jamming straws into what looks like a vein running along Spunky's skin. Back in the bathroom, Rocko begins his cleaning routine. From here on out, the episode starts doing its real trick. Actions in one world directly disrupting the other. Rocko raises the scrub brush, and down on the sitcom set, a massive bristle wall crashes through like a natural disaster. Furniture is mangled, and Mr. Ick is flattened mid-conversation. He survives, but he's clearly a little scrambled.
Oh no!
Bloaty and Squirmy move fast to try to make the best out of a bad situation.
Boss?
They insist the meal was perfect, everything was intentional, and that the boss loved it. And because this is a sitcom parody, of course it works.
And you loved it too.
I did?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Rocko escalates. He's going for the bath. Spunky refuses so hard, he ends up getting stuck to the ceiling in a gravity-defying act of stubbornness. Back in the microscopic world, parasites cling to the strands of dog hair as their entire reality flips upside down. Rocko tries coaxing Spunky down with more nothing wafers, resulting in the bathroom turning into a slapstick obstacle course.
Bath day is a very dangerous day.
Back on Spunky, the sitcom plot reaches its ending. Mr. Ick announces that he's naming a new vice president. And it isn't Bloaty.
That's right! Squirmy the ringworm!
Bloaty's face doesn't just contort, it collapses into something barely recognizable. His eyes bloodshot and unfocused, his mouth stretched into a rigid, tooth-bared grimace. Veins crawling across his face as if the anger is physically forcing its way out. He lunges at Squirmy in full fury shortly before the bathwater hits. Rocko finally gets Spunky into the bathtub, even if it means ending up in the bathtub along with him. Before the episode ends, we see Rocko scratch himself in a familiar way. We zoom in to find that Bloaty and Squirmy, having been swept away like debris in a storm, are now on Rocko, washed up on his skin in a perfect Gilligan's Island parody, costumes and all. They celebrate surviving the ordeal, and then Bloaty scratches. We zoom in again, even deeper, to find amoeba-level organisms living on Bloaty, running their own little tiny sitcom.
Lucy! You got some explaining to do!
Dirty Dog commits two kinds of disgust at the same time. The first is literal. Parasites, sweat, scabs, roast louse. Everything about the microscopic world is designed to make you uncomfortable on a very basic level. The second is structural. The Bloaty and Squirmy segments are a beat-for-beat sitcom parody played straight enough that the stiffness of the format becomes part of the joke. The laugh track fires on autopilot, the setup is familiar, and the resolution is guaranteed. The episode doesn't try to rescue the parody with extra jokes, it treats the rigidity of the format as the punchline. The A and B structure really lets the episode breathe. Rocko's attempts to wash Spunky become natural disasters for the parasites, turning everyday movements into catastrophic interruptions. The one release valve is Bloaty's rage animation. Steam, bulging veins, warped features, even inside a deliberately stiff parody, the show still finds a moment to go completely feral. Also, there's a strange coincidence that always sticks in my head. The exact boss coming to dinner sitcom plot reminds me of a Family Guy episode where Peter invites his boss, Mr. Weed, over in hopes of a promotion. The kicker, Mr. Weed is voiced by Carlos Alice Rocky, same voice as Rocko and Squirmy.
I'm impressed. In fact, starting Monday, I would like to promote you to head of toy development.
Bloaty and Squirmy are remembered less as characters and more as an idea. The theme song sticks, the laugh track sticks, and the image of an entire sitcom living inside Spunky sticks. For a lot of fans, Dirty Talk is shorthand for what Rocko is willing to do. Take a gross concept, overcommit to it, and then push it one layer deeper than necessary. The segment has aged into a kind of nostalgic time capsule, not because it's warm or comforting, but because it's so specific and so unnecessary that it becomes impossible to forget. Dirty Dog doesn't start with Spunky being dirty, it starts with Rocko being afraid. A commercial plants the anxiety, and everything that follows spirals out from that one moment. The episode never really resolves that fear either, it just kind of keeps zooming in, revealing more worlds, more parasites, and more tiny lives running their own problems underneath the surface. You try to clean it up, and all you really learn is that there's always something smaller living right underneath.
Boss, wake up! Boss, are you alright? Boss, wait!
So what do you think of Dirty Dog? Does Bloaty and Squirmy work for you, or does the sitcom parody wear thin? I'm covering Rocko's Modern Life and The Angry Beavers episode by episode with new content every week. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. If you want more Rocko or more Angry Beavers, there'll be some recommendations on screen in a moment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
baby.